Hey, J-Bone Nation! Shaming of Jay. He's not a dopey dumb bitch. He gets laid. The court jester. The court DJ. It's time to dive into the case. To the case.
What's up, everybody? Yes, there is a verdict that should be in 8 minutes from what I am seeing on twitter.com. Thanks for being here. There is a verdict, folks. There is a verdict. This is the verdict. So let me just make sure I have this set up here. I had planned on going reselling and thrifting and stuff. I'm like, I better not leave because I'm going to wait for this thing. So let me just make sure I set this up. All right, this looks good. Thanks for being here. Put on the chat. Hopefully Patrick wakes up. Thanks for being here, everybody. We have a verdict. We have a verdict. So should be any minute now. Did you guys like my thumbnail? Yes, he was Dr. Artie. He was found guilty. And now the jury has to decide if he's getting the death penalty, and they just came back, apparently. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Good morning. We have a verdict. We have a verdict. A death penalty verdict. So, I tried... AI will not... I tried firing squad with a potato. I tried a potato with a guillotine. I tried, I put a person who looks like a potato. I tried firing squad, guillotine, lethal injection. AI would not do any of them. However, when I said potato getting a flu shot while in prison, this is you gotta work with AI. You gotta know the words to use. So this is AI's version of a potato getting a flu shot in prison, which I then used. Joke's on you, AI. It's not this. I'm not using this for a flu shot. Joke's on you. I beat you, AI. I'm smarter than you, AI. You didn't want to do it, Canva AI, but I made you do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. So we're live. Thanks everyone for being here. It should be like 5 minutes. We're gonna get the verdict here. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My mom says I'm crazy, and she's right. I got like no sleep last night. I woke up and I made the cardinal mistake. It was like 3 a.m. of looking at my phone. Someone was being an a-hole to me, and then it bothered me, and I didn't sleep. So I'm definitely taking a snoozle after we get this back. After we get this verdict back, maybe then going to thrifting. I don't know, but also planning on going out to dinner with Babe. She's picking this time because on accident last time I picked a restaurant called Cans with a Z, which is I'll show you guys while we wait. This is the mistake I made. It has good I was looking at, I promise you, was I always check what the happy hour deals are, and they have good ones, but it turns out that Cans with a Z is a restaurant, as some folks call it. So Babe will be planning the event. I mean, I felt really uncomfortable when we went in there. It was a sausage fest. The dudes, I have much respect and love for the waitresses and people. It's the dudes. They were such creeps. Like one of them was like creepily touching the waitress. I'm like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We got one drink and we got out of there. We went to an ale house and no one sat us for the first like hour of being there. And then we sold out and went to Applebee's. But I'll tell you what, Applebee's, they had us sit someone else right away. We had some margs that were very watered down. I had a Club Sandy, and So everyone, welcome in. Welcome in. The verdict is in. It should be back in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm sorry, I didn't realize cans meant cans. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize it. I'm not bright. I don't have a good education. I don't know what remuneration is. I don't understand big words. Does anyone know what I'm doing? The Chris Farley thing. What was he? Bennett Brown. Thanks for being here, everybody. We should be getting any second now the decision on the what's up, Kim. Thanks everyone who DM'd me and tweeted at me, like Kim, and everyone who let me know. I knew I was about to go take a nap, and I'm like, if I take a snoozle now, it's gonna come in. So I'm glad I didn't. Oh, let me change. I don't even need a ticker, do I? Verdict on DP 15 minutes after. Okay, thank you, Simply Bell. Thank you all for being here with no notice. Over 178 people. I really appreciate it. Oh, guys, I was a manly man. And I got rid of the wasp nest. Like a real man. I went out there and used the spray from 20 feet away and then ran in the house. And I but I did it yesterday, and then I was like, and it's like on a branch, and I have my thing with the little, like, one of those claw things, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this again just to be sure. So hopefully by tomorrow. I mean, I probably killed the tree. The stuff that stuff that's in the wasp pan makes like such a noise, like a fizzing noise. I'm like, it's gonna kill the tree, the crepe myrtle, whatever the hell you call it. I'm sure it killed the entire tree, and probably my whole house is gonna start melting if it got on it. 1:15. All right, so about 15 minutes. Any advice for small ants? Well, that's one thing we haven't had a problem. We've had mices, we've had bees, we've had hornets, not ants. So I do not have any advice for those. Sorry. Thanks for being here, everybody. The verdict is in. We should have this any. We went to a Texas Roadhouse. There was one that came in Long Island. We went. It was all right. I wasn't impressed. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't. I expected more. I don't know. Hey, Claire from the UK. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Afton. Laura, Cabo, Dr. Artie, Little Biddle, Kelly, Amy, Marianne, Debbie. It's just me. What's just Charlotte? Tomorrow's Charlotte's birthday. Hope you have a good one. It's also Kat Grows. I don't know if she's here. What's up, Kim, Sharon, Serena, Dizster, Tamara, Michelina, Sheila, Rescue Puppy, Amanda, Simply Bell, Olive Oil. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Jinxie, Burrow Girl, Christine, Christy, Sharon, Debbie, Majestic Unicorn, Jade, Alexandra, Missy, Leslie, Angela. Welcome in, folks. Well, come on in. The water's nice. What do we think? Let me do a poll. Mom is here. She's giving advice. Renee is here. Chloe and Sally, Mandy, Lily Flores, and start a poll. Do you think the potato is going to get fried? Yes or no? Donna Barkley. Babe says she wants to go to the shed all day, brunch and dinner. Sounds good with me. Travis, what's up? Someone gave me a hard time on the interwebs. Miss Dina, Kay Brown, Natasha, what's up? Everyone, thanks for coming in. We are just waiting. There should be a verdict any second now. Kelly Boba, good answer, but she's here, so how dare you? CB, what's up? Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to come back last night, but it got to like 9:30 my time, and I'm like, this is too late for Jay. Jay went to sleep, so I would have missed it if it came back yesterday. Renee S. with a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Renee S. Hey, Susan Skinner. Hey, Heather C. Donna Norris. Present. Yes, if you're coming in late, we have a verdict. We have a death penalty verdict. Hey, Andrea, good to see you. Oh, love that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Anna Shell, for subscribing. Hey, Angel Baby. Hey, Tony. Hey, Intolerant. Welcome in. Oh, guys, also, while I'm waiting, I can share this now. Jared texted me, Jared Ross, who you guys know of, who I've had on. He's like, can I have what's your best email? And I gave him my email, and he's like, the person that handles Justice for Dan, Karen Cyphers, wants to email you. And she emailed me, and she asked me and other creators, obviously you've probably seen it from other folks, but asked to help out. It's if you don't know, it's going to be the 10th anniversary of when Dan Markel was murdered. And they're kind of doing like a reboot with Justice for Dan. So I shared it on my Twitter. I shared it on my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you're following Justice for Dan everywhere. I hope to have shows with Jared, have shows to help promote this. I'm going to do something like where we do like a fundraiser where everyone just gives money to the Justice for Dan. As you can see here, they're incorporated now. Jared is involved. He's on the board, as well as Tamara Dempko. They want to advance justice for Dan Markel and his family, memorialize Dan's life and scholarship, serve as a resource for credible case updates and commentary. So I am going to help them out with that. However I can, I told them, whatever I can do to help you guys out. So please, I tweeted out, I know that Jabo Nation is going to help with this. So I'm very excited to help them however I can. $10 years, 2014. Thank you so much, Andrea. I have not spoken to her over the phone, Susan, but we've emailed back and forth a few times, but I've never actually spoken to Ruth on the phone. Hey, Joanne, Mr. Jedi. Hey, Lita. In about 10 minutes, we should have the verdict, folks. So someone gave me a heart. I told you for over 250 people here. This is amazing. Thanks for being here. Olive Oil with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Someone on the interwebs. I'm not even going to do a fan mail thing about it, I don't think. But someone gave me shit because I was like being mean and I was making AI about Chad and Pryor. Someone was like, whoa, you guys are being so kind. Lily Flores, $10 Justice for Dan. Thank you so much. Bob is at CrimeCon. That's why he's not live right now. Thank you, Olive Oil. Thank you, Lily Flores. Thank you, Majestic Unicorn. Thank you all so much. Hey, what's up, Daryl? Good to see you. And I'm like, what's up, Objection Cake? Thanks for being here, everybody. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for these pieces of shit. Pryor has a prior SA plea deal. If you read I tweeted that out, and if you read the deals of that, like he took advantage of a young lady in his office, or you could check out the deals. Look up John Pryor. He pled out, so fuck him. And of course, Chad Daybell is guilty. Like we're watching the penalty phase. I don't feel bad for these fucks. Fuck Pryor and fuck Chad Daybell. I understand as defense attorneys have to do their job. Don't get twisted. I mean, my brother from another mother, Bob, who I stream with all the time, defense attorney, I get that. But not all of them are pieces of shit, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Mia? You didn't miss it, Kai. Hey, Mad World. Hey, Georgia. Thank you all so much. The verdict should be in about Tony Bailey with a $10 Venmo. Thank you so much. Coffee and pizza. emojis. Thank you. We should have a verdict in 3 minutes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Yeah, good point, President. Think about them walking around getting married in Hawaii. Welcome in, everybody. We should have a verdict in 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Hey, Amanda. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. Tony, thank you so much. I was going to take a snoozle too, little biddle. I was about to take a little snoozle because I did not have a good sleep, but maybe after. It's got to be yes, right? What's the poll at? Let's see. 71% say yes. 71% right now. Whoa. What was that? Dr. Artie says, member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Such an awesome supporter. Dr. Artie says, also making him a potato is not actually mean. Thank you. Of course, Lady Mook. Thanks for being here. This is scaring me. Why does it keep doing that? Please, please don't. Hey, Donna Minner like dinner. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hey, Elizabeth Betty C. Thanks for being here, everybody. Almost 300 people here. Yeah, Bob is at CrimeCon. So that is why we're not doing this together. He is with Allie at CrimeCon. I saw some people taking pictures of them, which is always cool. Naps can go both ways. Sometimes you can have a good nap and like wake up and like, oh, I feel right. And then sometimes you can have a nap and wake up and like, why did I do that? I feel worse. Naps are a fickle bitch. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like, folks. We are about 6 minutes away. 6 minutes away. Of course, I remember when he streamed last year at the wrong link. And here it is again. If you came in late, I had to trick AI to make my thumbnail because it wouldn't do a potato in a firing squad. It wouldn't do a potato in a guillotine. It wouldn't do a potato with lethal injection, but it would do a potato getting a flu shot in prison. So there we are. This is a verdict, Tracy K. What's up, Tracy? Good to see you. Renee, a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, Renee. Nicole, a member for 2 months. Happy Saturday, JBN. Thank you so much, Nicole. Oh, Andrea, always give her $20.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy. We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals. We're going to wrestle around.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Always appreciate your support of me and Shannon so much. All of you guys.
Purple heart, purple heart, purple heart. Authenticity is Jay's superpower. Purple heart, purple heart, purple heart.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Claire Terry with the $5. I'm sorry, £10.
Thanks for the live streamers, MJ.
£10.
Grinning face, grinning face, grinning face.
Thank you so much, Claire. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate everyone. Thank you. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Eileen. Welcome in, everybody. We should have a verdict in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, folks. 5 minutes. You knew this jury this jury can finally be just done with this trial that's been going on for so long. Hey, Nancy. I bet he probably has, or he's going to. I did, Susan. You missed my story. I was a man's man. I went out there and I stood like 20 feet away and shot the spray, and then I ran like a little baby. I ran right back into the house, let it soak for
Fuck your life, bing bong.
Oh, Joanne's gifted a membership that goes to Olive Oil. Thanks you so much, Joanne. And Mr. Jedi, always givers. Thank you so much.
Because I'm going to bunk with you, buddy. We're going to be buddies. We're going to be pals. We're going to wrestle around.
$5 from Donna. Minner like
love
dinner.
You, Shannon and Jaybird.
We
purple
love
heart,
you.
Purple heart, purple heart.
She's an always giver too. Thank you so much, Donna. You're the best. So I ran inside and then I let it overnight, but then I went out. It was still on the branch and I was a little scared, so I sprayed it again this morning. And tomorrow I plan on taking my little claw things, like you pick up garbage with, and taking that thing down, and hopefully I don't die. But you never know. You never know. Let's So over 300 people. Wow. Thank you everyone for being here. This is amazing. We got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Thanks for everyone who shared it out. Oh. 10 pounds from Lady Mook. Thank you so much, Lady Mook. Wait till it reads the emoji. That's my favorite. Please read the emoji. Please read the emoji. Oh, it didn't. Thank you so much, Lady Mook. Guys, I shared the clip yesterday. If you missed it yesterday, Judge Boyce made sure before any of this began, he's like, oh, Mary Sutton with a $20 Venmo. Thank you so much, Mary. Jeez, you guys are just so kind today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. $5 from Mysterium. Thank you so much, Mysterium. Oh, thank you. Judge Boyce was like, hey, Chad, stupid face. Are you sure you don't want to do an allocution or mitigating factors? And he said specifically that prior his lawyer had some mitigating factors, and stupid face said, yeah, I'm sure. I'm not putting up any defense here. So he could have had mitigating factors. He could have had witnesses. He could have had an allocution. He could have been like, I'm so sorry. He decided to do none of that. Is that because he wants the death penalty? I don't know. Does he think he's going to become Moroni Jabroni? Who knows? Yes, thank you all so much for being here. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Something should be happening very soon. Thank you, Mysterium. Any second now. I can put on dog cam while we wait for a second. Prudence likes to come in here and chill with me.
Love that thumbnail. Orange heart potato balance scale.
Thank you so much, K Brown. There's Prudy Giuliani. I don't know why it's out of focus. There we go. Well, you can't really see her, but Prudy likes to chill with me when we stream. Thank you, Kay. Exactly, Daryl. If you think about those kids and what happened to them, I mean, everyone, obviously. Thank you, Tamara. I don't know how a jury's not going to come back. I would be very surprised if it was not. Oh, guys, today is June 1st. You know what that means? I never do good with this. I never keep them. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me go to YouTube. That means I can give out 5 memberships. I can give out 10, but I like to give out. I usually end up giving them within the first. Let me go to my channel. Make sure. All right, before I do, make sure you click on this link. And yes, happy Pride Month. Good point. Thank you, Cabo. Make sure I'm going to share a link here. So make sure you have that you can receive gifts right here. I'm going to give away 5 gifted memberships.
I'm gonna fuck with you, buddy. We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna be pals. We're gonna wrestle around.
Make sure you click on that link. Make sure you have the ability to receive memberships. And I'm going to do that. Helen Steiner just saw Bob at CrimeCon. He is representing DP for Potato Head Chud. Helen's the best. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. All right. Here we go. Going to give out 5 memberships. Let me go to my channel. I got 10. YouTube gives me 10 a month. So let me go here. Let's not hear myself on stereo. And let's go with show your support for Jay. Membership gifting. Gift 5 now. Let's see who gets them.
Fuck your life. Bing bong.
Hey, MJ. Hey, Carrie. 5 people. Get the Capri Suns out. 5 people getting memberships.
Because I'm gonna fuck with you, buddy. We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna be pals. We're gonna wrestle.
All right, it should be any minute now, folks. I am alive, so any minute now. Hey, Kestrel. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much, Dara. I really appreciate that. Hey, Mad World. Hey, Meg. Hey, everyone. JD, thanks for being here. Any second now, we should have the verdict. Any second now. Make sure you click on that link to get the memberships, though. All the bows on a weekend. Best chat. I agree, Sharon. Best chat in the land. You guys are the best. I completely agree. My mom is in the chat. Yes, she is in the chat. So anyone who's making a mom joke, let me just say, how dare you? My mom is in the chat, so how dare you? Good question, Rescue Puppy. They're done. Yes, they are done deliberating. We are going to get a verdict in any second now. Hey, Spitfire Dragon. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Tonica. Now I have the anxiety where, like, this is live. We're not missing anything. I get this anxiety that something's going to happen and I miss it. Hey, Wild Child. First they said 11, then I heard 11:15 their time, which would have been 3 minutes ago. I think it'll be any second now. If anyone sees it live somewhere else, let me know, but I'm on Long Crime. 374 people. Thanks for being here, everyone. Hey, JC Bo. Hey, Sunshine Roses. You got it, Katie girl. Thanks for being here. Any second now, I think. He's in the courtroom. All right. If you haven't hit that like button, if you could hit that like button, greatly appreciated. All right, let's check on the poll. 74% think yes. Meg P, holy shit, Meg P, always giver. Thank you so much, Meg. You are so kind. Always gifting out so many memberships. Hey, what's up, Fancy? Good to see you. Hey, young black economist. That was that was something. They love to drink and drive at Canton. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I saw Fancy also tweeted out about the 10-year anniversary, and she had done a video at the 7-year, so check that out. What's up, Kino? Thanks for being here, everybody. Any second now, we should have a decision here. Hey, Jersey Girl. Hey, Anita. Hey, Tosh. If you're coming in late, they have a verdict for the death penalty for Chudley Potato Head. And we're going to see any second now. Penny's mad. Someone's here. Oh, Amazon. We need to get them to 1K. All right, let me get there. I think now you could do it before. I think like maybe, well, maybe not. All right, let me get justice for Dan M. There's some new rules, but make sure. Oh, they have 860 subscribers. Guys, if you are not subscribed, let me share it right now. If you are not subscribed to Justice for Dan M YouTube, I'm sharing it now. Please subscribe. Let's get them to 1,000. Let's get them monetized. Like I said, I'm going to do a show. We're going to try to work on shows. All the people that support this, I'm going to do one like kind of like my fundraising one I did for Justice, where all the money goes. I'm going to just have the Venmo up and everyone. We're going to plan all this stuff, but we want to support them however we can. So let's get them to 1K. Let's help them however we can. Helen Steiner with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Helen. You are the best. Always giver. Thank you, Helen. Yeah, they stayed late last night, Natalia, and they came in today. I think that was the deal all along. They want to go home. Yes, I will make a prompt. I will make a prompt for the channel. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everyone for being here. This is live, so as soon as it goes live, here we go. Oh, my Lanta. Here we go.
Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Good morning, everyone. We're on the record on case CR 2221-1623, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell. This is the special sentencing proceeding that has been conducted last couple of days. The jury's been deliberating. The court is advised that the jury has reached a verdict on the special sentencing proceeding and the special verdict form. I'll note the state's present with the 4 prosecutors who have tried the case, Mr. Pryor and his client, Mr. Daybell, present as well. I'll also note there's a courtroom conduct order in effect. I'd appreciate everyone complying with that, as you all have throughout this trial. I will note on the record before we get to the verdict that we did have a jury question yesterday that the court answered, and I've provided the question and copies of the answer to counsel.
What?
In addition, a second question came in today.
What?
I did go on the record with that question and answer with counsel and the defendant present, returned that response to the jurors. They've now reached a verdict in the case, so the court is going to have the jurors brought in and have the verdict delivered for reading.
Did we know? This is it, guys. Did we know about those questions? I certainly didn't.
You will bring the jury.
Here we go, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah, they didn't. That's kind of weird that they didn't stream that, huh? It would be nice to know right now what the questions were. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but welcome in. If you're coming in late, the jury has decided the fate. Yeah, I'll go to the press conference after. The jury has decided the fate of this piece of shit looking that we're staring at in front of us in the blue tie, this murdering piece of trash. This fucking dumb asshole thought he could just fake everyone out with his bullshit religion that he created with fucking closet portals and all that bullshit. They have decided if he's going to go be put to death. I know Bob, Bob's thing is it's worse to be in jail for the rest of your life. And I've saw some people like it would be better if he was in jail to see that all his prophecies didn't come true. But didn't they already not come true? Like, wasn't the world already supposed to end according to his bullshit? Portal out of this, you stupid bitch. Portal out of this, you fucking piece of shit.
All right, please.
There we go. Think of all those peoples and all those victim statements and all those lives that were forever changed because of this fucking piece of shit how to get his jollies with fucking Lori Vallow. Think of all those people that came up and their lives are ruined because of this piece of shit.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court understands you've reached a verdict on the special verdict form. Is that correct? All right, Mr. Bailiff, if you would please return the special verdict form to the court, I'll review that.
Yes, my mom is in the chat. She knows I curse. My mom's in the chat all the time. Don't worry, she knows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict form is somewhat long and complicated. The court is going to take a moment to review the form.
Thanks for being here, Jen. Thanks everyone for being here. Over 400 people. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, I have a potty mouth. I do. But does this guy deserve less than that? Fuck him. And if you don't like my potty mouth, that's cool. There's a lot of other channels that are covering this, I'm sure.
All right, the court's reviewed the special verdict form. I do find it's been properly filled out by the jury foreperson as well as correctly signed and dated. At this time, I am going to request, Madam Clerk, Ms. Holstein, if you would please read the special verdict form. If you'd like to remain seated or standing, it's a long form and will take some time to read, but however is most comfortable for you, Madam Clerk, you may go ahead and read the special verdict form into the record.
In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Fremont, State of Idaho Plaintiff versus Chad Guy Daybell Defendant, case number CR 22211623, Special Verdict. Part 1. We, the jury, render the following verdict on the alleged statutory aggravating circumstances. 1. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tylee Ryan was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration? Yes. 2. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Joshua Jackson, hereinafter J.J. Vallow, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration? Yes. 3. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tamra, hereinafter Tammy Daybell, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration? Yes. 4. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tylee Ryan was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes. 5. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of J.J. Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes. 6. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The murder of Tammy Daybell was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity? Yes. 7. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? By the murders or circumstances surrounding their commission, the defendant exhibited utter disregard for human life? Yes. 8. Has the jury unanimously found that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the following aggravating circumstance? The defendant, by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, or after the commission of the murders at hand has exhibited a propensity to commit murder, which will probably constitute a continuing threat to society? Yes. If you answered no to each of the above questions, you do not need to answer any other questions. Simply have the presiding juror sign this verdict form and notify the bailiff that you are done. If you answered yes to any of the above questions, then please answer the questions in part 2. Part 2. We, the jury, render the following verdict on the weighing of all mitigating circumstances against the statutory aggravating circumstances. You are to only answer the following questions for those statutory aggravating circumstances for which you answered yes in part 1. 1. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tylee Ryan was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 2. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Joshua Jackson, hereinafter J.J. Vallow, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 3. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tamara, hereinafter Tammy Daybell, was committed for remuneration, or the defendant employed another to commit the murder for remuneration or the promise of remuneration, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust.
I think that means death penalty.
4.
Death
With
penalty
respect
is
to the
just.
statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tylee Ryan was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 5. With respect to
Did we lose the mic?
This lady should get a raise just for having to say remuneration that many
5.
times.
With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of J.J. Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances.
Do we need a new mic? Okay, we're going to get a separate mic. Thank you.
Just slide over, Judge. This poor lady's had to say remuneration like 50 times. Give her a raise.
I'll read 5 over.
Yes, start with 5 again. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
5. Okay. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of J.J. Vallow was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 6. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the murder of Tammy Daybell was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 7. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that by the murders or circumstances surrounding their commission, the defendant exhibited utter disregard for human life, we unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. 8. With respect to the statutory aggravating circumstance that the defendant, by his conduct, whether such conduct was before, during, or after the commission of the murders at hand, has exhibited a propensity to commit murder, which will probably constitute a continuing threat to society. We unanimously find that when weighed against this aggravating circumstance, all mitigating circumstances are not sufficiently compelling to make imposition of the death penalty unjust. Once you have completed part 2, please have the presiding juror sign this verdict form and notify the bailiff you are done. Dated this first day of June 2024 and signed by the presiding juror.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, for reading through the verdict form. Ladies and gentlemen, the court will note that given the complexity of this special verdict form, just I think in fairness to all those in attendance, including in particular victims and the parties, the layman's explanation of this verdict is that the jury has made a finding that it would be appropriate to impose the death penalty as it relates to counts 1 through 6 in the amended indictment. And so pursuant to Idaho Code 192515, the court is directed that the defendant would be sentenced to death on those counts. The court will take up a concluding sentencing proceeding. I also have additional counts of insurance fraud. I've discussed with counsel moving forward in a consolidated hearing. The court's proposing that we do that this morning, waiving the right to a pre-sentence investigation report under Criminal Rule 32A. Before I get there, just let me ask at this time of the jurors, is this your true and correct verdict that's this case? Very well. Does the state wish to have the jury pulled on the special verdict form?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Does the defense wish to have the jury pulled on this special verdict form?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Very well. As I mentioned, then that's the result of the verdict form. The court would then proceed with additional sentencing on those 2 counts, as well as the counts 1 through 6 determined now by the jury. Mr. Pryor, is the defense willing to move forward with a consolidated hearing on those counts this morning without a pre-sentence investigation report?
As previously indicated, Judge, yes, we are.
Okay. Is the state going to be ready to proceed with a sentencing on those issues as well?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Counsel, I do want to take a brief recess just to briefly prepare for that, given the verdict, and I will come back on the bench. It really won't take long. I would suggest that a 30-minute recess will come back on the record. The court will conclude with that sentencing hearing. So if everybody could be back here by 10 after, we'll have the jury return one last time to the jury room to wait for that final sentencing hearing. We'll conduct that in the presence of the jurors also, and then I'll have concluding instructions for the jurors. So we will be in recess for 30 minutes. We'll come back for that final stage of the proceeding. Thank you.
All right.
Wow. Well, our first death penalty hearing that I've covered. Cuff that bitch. Put him in cuffs. Put him in cuffs. Oh. And if you're coming in late, Chad Daybell is getting the death penalty on all counts. The jury found that he is getting the death penalty. If Pryor did not poll the jury, he didn't poll the jury in the first portion either. Just like the negligence, the first part of the trial, he didn't poll the jury either. Gotta love this Judge Boyce. Even he's like, listen, this shit is confusing. I'm gonna break this down for you. That it was like quadruple negatives. But he's like, yeah, it's the death penalty because that shit is confusing. The person who wrote that statute needs jail time. I mean, that shit was confusing, but it is confirmed. Let me just see if they're gonna do a press conference in between here. I guess not. If they do, let me know. If anyone sees that there's a press conference, so we got 30 minutes. And I mean, I know they have to do this procedurally, but like, you know, the guy's getting death. Now we got to talk about insurance fraud. Does it matter? But I guess it does. Why do I hear noise? Oh, we might. All right, I'll keep it here. Thanks for being here, KT. Thanks for being here, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Oh, Kimmy's blessed. Thank you so much.
Saw you on YT and called me and screamed for me to get home because you were live on Dick Smack's sentencing. Ty, hello bonators. Happy to be here with you all.
Kimmy's blessed. We're happy you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Susan. Thank you, Susan. We appreciate you guys very much. Hey, Trudy. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you missed it, if you're coming in late, the jury decided that Chad is getting the death penalty. Now we're just going to see if there's people come out for the press conference. There's a 30-minute break in court to go over his stealing money, insurance fraud or whatever. If you missed it, we're trying to get the Justice for Dan Markell YouTube page to 1,000 subs. If you guys could subscribe, if you're not already, if you're familiar with me, the case I probably cover the most is Dan Markell. Here's the YouTube. If you give it a sub, if you haven't already, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, Missing and Lost. Thank you all for being here. Just going to wait here, see if there's a press conference. If not, it's going to be back to finish this off in about 30 minutes. Court is on break. Oh, I see some people come out of the door. Let's see. Oh, Nate's not there. Nate's in CrimeCon, right? Nate Eaton. Oh. Here we go.
Caitlin Hart with East Idaho News. Chad Daybell has just been sentenced to the death penalty. A verdict was reached about 8 hours after deliberations. The jurors unanimously decided that Chad Daybell deserves the death penalty based on the aggravating factors of the case. I'm going to read these to you. The jury found that Tylee and JJ's murders were committed for remuneration or compensation, or that Chad convinced someone else to commit the murders for remuneration. The jury also found that Tammy Daybell's murder was committed for compensation, or that Chad got someone else to do it for compensation. The jury found that Tylee's murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. They also found that JJ's murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, and that Tammy Daybell's murder was also especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. The jury found that Chad exhibited utter disregard for human life, and that Chad Daybell's conduct exhibits a propensity to commit murder, which would cause a potential for danger to society. It was an incredibly tense hearing. Chad did not display any emotion. He didn't even move. He stared at Judge Boyce and the clerk the entire time they read the verdict. We've been out here since about 7:30 this morning. They read the verdict at about 11:30. Again, Chad did not have any emotion. He sat very still. There was a lot of emotion in the gallery, especially from Kay Woodcock. She immediately broke down into tears. Larry Woodcock was hugging her. The family was very, very emotional. Again, no real response from Chad Daybell. He does still have to be sentenced on the insurance fraud charges. So after a 30-minute break the court decided to take, we will come back and Judge Boyce will hear arguments for the insurance fraud, I believe, or he could just sentence him based on what he already knows. There will be no pre-sentence investigation for these charges, but that will also happen today. An interesting point as well is that Chad has already decided he's not going to speak. So even after sentencing, he, in the death penalty case, loses his ability to make a statement from what I've been hearing. Right now, everybody's outside. just kind of reeling from the verdict.
100% justice for Dan.
Intense
Next.
situation. The vibe in the room was very heavy. Lots of people, I think, were kind of nervous and anxious for what was going to happen. But
thanks
the jury
so much,
did find
Mysterium.
that Chad will be facing the death penalty, and as far as when that will happen, we have no idea. There are people that have been on death row for decades and decades and decades, and recently in the last couple months, Idaho tried to execute Thomas Creech, and the execution happened decades after he was sentenced and actually didn't work, didn't go through. So we have no idea what's next. I would imagine there's probably going to be some appeals, big appeals process, but right now we are just learning that Chad Daybell will face the death penalty for murders of Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow, and Tammy Daybell. We're expected to be back up in court around 12:10. It's 11:45 right now. So I'm going to head back up there and make sure I get a seat. We will keep you updated on the website and on Twitter. Thank you for watching.
Good job, Katie. Good job. I think that was her name. I don't know. Andrea, member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, so you heard her. What time do we know? I completely was not paying attention to what time. Until 11:10. So got about 20 minutes. Turn off this chat. Yeah, let me talk about justice for Dan Markell again. It's the 10th. We have some people who are coming in late. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for your support. Wait, are they going?
All right, I am on speakerphone with Nate Eaton, who's at CrimeCon. Nate, what do you think about the verdict?
Wow, Caitlin, I could feel the series of tense. I can't even talk right now.
I know.
I can't imagine what it was like in the courtroom. You know, I was down here. I'm here at CrimeCon in Nashville, and so many people are following. And we were actually in podcast row when I got the notice on my phone, and people started to pull open their phones, and we ran up to our room to watch. This jury spent how many hours, Caitlin? Was it 7 or 8 hours?
It was
total?
about 8 hours.
8 hours deliberating this. I mean, you think about all it would have taken is for one of those jurors to say, no, we believe he should get life in prison, but they took this seriously, and they believed that this was the most serious crime you could commit, and that it deserved the most serious penalty out of any penalty that can be rendered in the state of Idaho. And we will not hear from Chad Daybell. We never heard from him yesterday. You know, you were in the courtroom. We won't hear from him going forward unless he decides to give a speak about the insurance fraud charge in a few minutes.
Thank all you guys. Don't thank me. Thank all you guys so much for being here.
But I don't know if that's going to happen. It's interesting to me, too, that the judge decided to go ahead and sentence that today so that we don't have to worry about upcoming court proceedings. But now a whole new phase begins of exactly what happens from here. Will there be an execution date sentenced or scheduled? What type of appeals will now be filed? I mean, this is not going to happen within the next year or so. This is going to be a long, drawn-out process. As we know with Thomas Creech, the inmate who was scheduled to be sentenced to death back in March, it didn't happen because they couldn't get a vein, and he had sat on death row for 4 decades. So, you know, this is something that will be an interesting thing to follow. And now we'll see how the families feel about it. I do want to say, Caitlin, I don't know if you saw, Raul Labrador, the Attorney General, did send out a statement, and I can read that to viewers now who haven't seen it.
Yeah, sure.
Let me pull that up. It came out moments after the verdict was handed down here. We also have a statement from Patty Lader, who is Tammy Daybell's cousin. The Attorney General said, I just have to find it here in my email. Attorney General says, I'm thankful for the incredibly diligent work of the prosecutors and investigators in this complex case, and I am grateful for the partnerships we have in place to support the pursuit of justice. I hope the conviction of Chad Daybell and the jury's sentence provides a measure of peace to the families of the victims, Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow, and Tammy Daybell. That's from Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador. I'm also hearing that the prosecutors may be holding a press conference after the sentencing this afternoon for the insurance fraud, Caitlin, so we will carry that live here. This is the first time the prosecutors will speak since they announced the indictment about Chad and Lori since 2021. It's the first time they've spoken publicly about this. Right. And so we have that statement that press conference. Unclear if John Pryor will say much today. I don't know if he'll be down there addressing the microphones, but it's possible he could. We also have the statement from Patty Later. She testified in this trial. She's Tammy Daybell's cousin. She said, "We want to thank everyone who put in countless hours of work to get where we are today. Law enforcement, the prosecution, the media, and all of you who watched and listened to the trial and prayed for us. We are grateful for the relationships we have created through this horrible time and the support and love we were able to give each other. I also want to thank my Aunt Vicky, who was sitting in the courtroom almost every day of this trial. For those of us who weren't able to do so, that took great strength. We can all start to heal from the terrible losses we have suffered. We will miss Tammy every single day of our lives, but we have some comfort knowing we will see her again. If you've been touched by Tammy and would like to support her foundation, the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation, to put books into the hands of children and increase literacy, please consider donating to the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation."
Wow.
So Caitlin, what's the atmosphere like there outside the courtroom? Are there people on the sidewalk? I mean, I don't want to say this verdict kind of came from out of nowhere, but it's a Saturday morning and a lot of people are busy, and we didn't know when it was coming down.
Yeah, right now there's no one on the sidewalk. I think because the hearing starts here in about 18-ish minutes, I think people are kind of still sitting inside waiting to see what happens with the second hearing, because there's a feeling among the people in the gallery that they want to finish this out. They want to be here for the whole thing. I was talking to people earlier who moved their flights from yesterday to today to be able to be here for this sentencing verdict. So there's a feeling of kind of wanting to complete it, get like a sense of closure for a lot of people. And right now, I'm just standing out here with some media, and I do want to mention that, I think it's interesting because the jury isn't allowed to take into account that Lori Vallow got life in prison. I'm not even sure they know that. And so this is solely on Chad's charges and his conduct, and a jury came together completely unanimously to decide that, which I think is a big decision that they had to make today.
Right, and it makes you wonder if death penalty had not been taken off the table for Lori Vallow, if she would have received the same sentence.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we don't know. Caitlin, I know you have to run up into the courtroom, and I'd hate for you to miss your seat, so I'm going to hang up now.
Okay.
Everybody watching, stay with us, stay on this feed, because we're going to cut right back over to the court proceedings, and then after Caitlin, Caitlin will hang out there with Jordan and get the press conferences from the prosecutors. I imagine Larry and Kay may come down and say a few things, so you can stick with us for coverage through the remainder of today, and then hopefully tonight, Erica and I here at CrimeCon, we can do a brief wrap-up of what's happened. Good job, Caitlin.
Thank you, Nate. I'll keep you updated. Bye-bye.
Oh, Katie, that's
like Nate
nice.
said, we're going to keep you updated. I'm going to run back upstairs and make sure I get a seat in the courtroom for the next part of the sentencing phase, and I will keep you updated on Twitter at News with Kate, K-A-I-T, and on EastIdahoNews.com. Thanks.
Welcome, Katie. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Should be back in court in about 15 minutes. If you missed it, Chad Daybell did receive, or from what I'm seeing in the chat, I don't know if it's true, but the judge has to finally say he gets the death penalty, but the jury confirmed that they believe he should get the death penalty. He is not going to be saying anything. While we're waiting, again, you guys are going to be annoying about how often I talk about this, but I felt very honored when I was reached out by Jared Ross, and the folks that run Justice for Dan Markell, Tamara, and Karen. They said, hey, would you like to be a part of this and help promote it? We want to get justice. It's going to be the July 18th, folks. July 18th was the 2014. If you can wrap your brains around that, was the day that Dan Markell was shot. He died the next day. The 10-year anniversary is coming up. 10 years before Donna's trial, and they're doing like a rebrand. They're going to be doing a lot of promotion. They're going to be doing stuff. So if we can get them to 1K subscribers on YouTube, that would be phenomenal. They are Justice for Dan M everywhere. I shared it on Instagram, shared it on Facebook, shared it on Twitter. Please give them a follow. I hope to be doing some shows with Jared and whoever will come on with me to so we can promote this. They have a Venmo, which I believe is Justice for Dan M. We're going to share that too. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to them. I'm going to do whatever I can to help them out. 10 years, if you can believe that. And still Donna's got to go down, and Wendy and Harvey. 10 years, folks. 10 years since the Markells have not really even seen their grandkids. 10 years since Dan was taken away because of that piece of shit Adelson family. So I'm going to support this. If you guys can support, I know JBN is gonna come out strong and help them. So, but in the meantime, we are just waiting for the court to come back. Should be back in about 10-15 minutes. As they continue the sentencing, then there'll be a press conference. I'll cover that too. If you guys want to hang here, we'll cover the press conference. I'm sure Larry and Kay will talk. The prosecutors, as you heard Nate say, will talk for the first time since they filed the indictment. So I'll cover the press conference as well. And then after that, me and Babe will probably go on a date. So she's planning it because I took us to a restaurant last time on accident. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks for the support. It's okay, babe. The Mets are going to lose, so it's okay. We'll go whenever you want, babe. Whatever restaurant you want to go to. Doesn't matter. You're more important than the Mets, babe. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let me just see again. What time was it? I forget what time. It says it here. Let me see. 2:10 Eastern. So 10 more minutes. We should be back. 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. No, we're not going to Cairns this time. We're not going to Cairns. Harrison Bader is with the Mets now, and he's doing pretty good, Katie. He's doing pretty good. I like Harrison. We're not going to Cairns. I would try to give Babe whatever she wants whenever I can. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, folks. 10 minutes. It wasn't a Hooters place. It wasn't a Hooters. Well, I guess it was kind of. It kind of was like a Hooters place. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is what I did. I Googled. Everyone giving me a hard time about this. First of all, you're right. But second of all, it was really innocent. I wouldn't have went there. I just Googled Happy Hour Bohemia. Not Bohemian Bowl. What the hell is that? Because that's where I live in New York. And look what the first thing is. I wasn't me manipulating that. That was the first thing that came up. I was like, oh, let's check out Cairns. And then I went to the website. Look, if you go here, do you know that Cairns means cans? No. And then I was like, oh, let me check out look, they got Sunday brunch. They got the menu. You don't know. You don't know here. How was I supposed to have any idea that this was a restaurant? I had no idea that this was a restaurant. And then check out the happy hour deals. They're good deals. Oh, Jersey Jen, thank you so much. You're too kind. But then Babe went to their Instagram and it was revealed that perhaps let me see if that's on here. Look, like right here, you'd have no idea. Look at the pictures. How would you have any idea that this is a restaurant? Look, maybe you're starting to get an idea here. Maybe this is I didn't scroll this far down. But then when you go to the Instagram and then you start scrolling, which is what Babe did, then you're like, oh wait, maybe. Babe's like, does cans mean cans? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then you're like, oh yes, this is a restaurant. No, we will not be going. But come on, admit, guys, some of this food looks good. I mean, $10 cash out from Deja. Thank you so much, Deja. How was I supposed to know? Anyway, we'll be back in about 9 minutes. Yes, we laughed at it. We got one beer each, and then we left. And then we ended up in Applebee's. Take care, Susan. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Deja. I think I got a $10 PayPal from Megan. Thanks for your Daybell coverage. I appreciate it. Thank you, Megan. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, Amy, cans means cans. It doesn't mean soda cans or beer cans. Thank you so much, Jersey Jen. You're too kind. All right, we should be back in 9 minutes with the continuing of the sentence. Again, I will cover the press conference after as well if you want to join us. But as of right now, yeah, and someone said, I'm sure Crime Con is buzzing. I'm sure they are. I'm sure you are correct right now. What do you want to eat for lunch, Dr. Artie? A grilled cheese with bacon. And it's Charlotte's birthday tomorrow. Everyone, if you didn't wish Charlotte a happy birthday yesterday, wish it to her today. Tracy K, one of the kindest, with a $25 Venmo for working on a Saturday. Thank you so much, Tracy. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, Tracy and Dizzy have an amazing Discord. If you're on Discord, make sure you check out Seeking Justice, where it has all the updates and all the cases you could ever want. It gives you notifications. Make sure you check out their Discord. Has all the channels that we, me, Bob, Criminality, Publicly Buzzed, every channel, every podcast, gives you updates on all of it. It's a place to chat, so check that out. Thank you so much. KT Burr with a $2. Let me have the robot read it.
Thank you for being yourself and getting us through this.
Thank you so much, KT Burr. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. And again, folks, we will be back on Monday with Karen Reed on Bob's channel, Defense Diaries. Weird week next week. Monday on, Tuesday off. However, we will be doing part 2 with Jack, Never a Truer Word, on Jen McCabe. Wednesday, full day. Thursday till 12. Friday off next week for folks who are following the Karen Reed trial. So that's the schedule for that. Should be back in about 5 minutos. Yeah, Chad's kids were never dark, right? That's because they were on board. I mean, not on board with the murder, but they weren't a obstacle in the way of fucking Potato and Lori moving to Hawaii and being pieces of shit. Thank you so much, Katie. I appreciate it. All right, folks. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. If you missed it, Chad Daybell is getting the death penalty, folks. And we're just waiting for the judge to the insurance fraud. They have to go through that. And then there's going to be a press conference. So we'll be covering it all here. Oh, is that right, Annie? Chad had one of his kids included in his new life insurance policy? I'm so glad. I started reading this, Dr. Artie. I'm so glad I saw the just kidding. And by the way, Dr. Artie also did not know what remuneration is, so suck it, people that gave me shit for that. Hey, Teresa. Who pissed you off yesterday? Who was gossip, Rachel? I forget what I was talking about. Remuneration means they did for money. They did the murders for payment for money. Yeah, exactly. Dr. Artie is brilliant, so that made me feel good. I think someone said, I think actually Dr. Artie said, I think it's an automatic appeal even if you don't want to, but I don't know if the answer to that for sure. Well, I'm not either of them, Dr. Artie, so I don't know what to tell you. I'll be right back. Just gonna get something to drink. I will be right back. I'll leave you with Penny while I go get something to get a glass of water. Where is Penny? Now all my pictures of my toys that I showed yesterday are... There she is, I think. Be right back. Gonna get some water. I'm muted. Not your edits. They came back with a decision about the death penalty for Chad Daybell. If you want to, I won't spoil it for you if you want to scroll back and watch it, or I can tell you. And in about a minute, the court should be back with the remaining insurance fraud charges, and then there should be a press conference. Oh, gotcha, Rachel. I gotcha. Thanks for being here, folks. Thanks for all your support. We'll be back. Court should be back. Thank you, Anja. Or Anya. Thank you all for being here. We should be back any second now, folks, with the continuation and the ending of the this penalty phase. Then there'll be a press conference. Of course, P. Lola's mom. Thanks for being here. Should be back any minute. Yo. Thank you. Oh, my Hornet spray is here. Even though we got some from Target yesterday and used it. Thank you, Rachel. Hey, Jan. Good to see you, Jan. Court should be back live any second now. Continuing with the insurance fraud charges. Man, you guys are the best. Oh, where's my little thing here? You guys are always the best with the likes. 322 people watching, 329 likes. You guys are awesome. And yeah, you're right, Sharon. I am. Oh, we just got to 17,700, so that's cool. Court will be back any second if you're coming in late. The jury has said that they believe that Chad should get the death penalty. Now we're just waiting for the insurance fraud charges. And then someone said, good point. This jury, good job by this jury. They were there for a long time. They had to sit and listen to Pryor for how many weeks? Had to stare at Shud for how many weeks? And they came back and they did their job. Good on them. Good job. You're not kidding, Cabo. Thank you. It's pretty mind blowing to think about sometimes. And some of the best folks in the land. Oh, yeah, you're seriously that sentencing form, that was confusing as hell. Even Judge Boyce knew it. He had to take a step back and like, listen, I'm gonna just say that this is what this means because it's so confusing. That was one of the most. No, that's not one of. Although remember Zach Latham when the judge sped read the jury form. This was the most confusing jury reading instructions that I remember hearing. I don't know about you guys. Yes, Carly, it is. Yeah, the double negative, that was weird. Day 34. This is day 34. Can you imagine 34 days of your life being on this jury? Working on the weekend now. If you missed my short, well, I can show the short if you missed it yesterday while we wait. Since that should be, let's just make sure there's nothing here. Whoops, not cans. So this is the part yesterday.
Pryor, I've discussed this with you on the record already, but you have explained the right of mitigation and allocution to your client. Is that correct?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Daybell, the purpose of these rights is to potentially present evidence to the jury that could result in them finding that the death penalty should not be imposed in your case. Do you understand that?
I do.
All right, and I'm also advised then that you do not intend to, despite the preparation of mitigation from your attorney, you don't intend to present that evidence at this hearing. Is that your choice?
That is my choice.
Has anyone coerced or pressured you personally to make that choice?
No.
And do you feel like you're thinking clearly this morning as you make that choice?
Yes.
Okay, well, that is your right, Mr. Daybell. So thank you for putting that on the record for the court before we brought the jurors in at this time then.
Judge Boyce, make sure to have that on the record that this guy, and he said the defense prepared mitigating factors. And, oh, we're back.
All right, please.
You will bring the jury.
Jury's off, President Counterford, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, we are back on the record on CR 2221-1623, continuing the special sentencing proceeding. The jury has returned its special verdict. The court would note that pursuant to Idaho Code 18-4004, which is the punishment for murder statute in Idaho, that crime in murder of the first degree, and under Idaho Code 192515 subsection 7A, that states that if the jury finds that a statutory aggravating circumstance exists and no mitigating circumstances exist, which would make the imposition of the death penalty unjust, the defendant will be sentenced to death by the court. The court's reviewed the findings of the jurors in the special verdict form. They've taken their time through these deliberations to return that verdict. And so the court will proceed with sentencing first on counts 1 through 6. And again, this is an unusual hearing because the sentencing hearing's already been taking place. We've heard from the victims through impact statements and arguments from counsel. That's already taken place. In addition, a pre-sentence investigation report is not to be ordered in these hearings, so the court does not reference that. The court then orders as follows, and this will be contained in the court's judgment at the conclusion of the case. As to count 1, the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the murder of Tylee Ryan, upon the jury's finding of guilty and return of the special verdict form, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 1, the defendant is sentenced to death. On count 2, the first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 2, sentences the defendant to death. On count 3, to commit first-degree murder and grand theft by deception for the murder of J.J. Vallow, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 3, sentences the defendant to death. On count 4, first-degree murder of J.J. Vallow, the jury finding beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 4, sentences the defendant to death. On count 5, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy, the jury, having found beyond a reasonable doubt and having returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 5, sentences the defendant to death. On count 6, the first-degree murder charge, the murder of Tammy Daybell, the jury, having found beyond a reasonable doubt and returned the special verdict that the aggravating circumstances when weighed against the mitigating circumstances do not make the imposition of the death penalty unjust. The court, therefore, on count 6, sentences the defendant to death. The court's next going to take up counts 7 and 9 on the insurance fraud counts. Before I do that, from the state, are there any questions regarding the court's judgment as it relates to counts 1 through 6?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Questions from the All right, moving on to insurance fraud, then the court will note that I am required to go through a sentencing proceeding on this. These are separate counts that have not been determined in the special verdict form by the jurors. Some brief procedural history. Mr. Daybell was charged by amended indictment with counts 7 and 9 insurance fraud under Idaho Code 41293, which is a felony. Mr. Daybell pled not guilty to those counts on June 9th, 2021. Thereafter, this trial was held, and as part of the findings of the jury in their verdict, they did find the defendant guilty of both of those counts. The court has considered in the pre-sentence investigation report the information that I've heard throughout this trial. I also heard information regarding in the previous trial held last year against co-defendant Lori Vallow. I've also heard special sentencing relating to those counts as well, and have considered that information in lieu of a pre-sentence investigation report. And I'll also note the defendant waived the pre-sentence investigation report and is permitted to do that, and the court can allow that under Criminal Rule 32A. At this time then, before I move forward with the sentencing on counts 7 and 9, I will inquire of the state, is the state wishing to make any sentencing recommendation as it relates to count 7 or 9?
And Your Honor, just for clarification, were the insurance frauds count 8 and 9?
As listed in the amended indictment, they are listed as counts 7 and count 9.
Okay. Thank you. Co-counsel just clarified for me on that. Your Honor, the state is prepared to make a statement. First, I would indicate for the record that in relation to the sentencing hearing, the sentencing portion handled yesterday, the state did make our best attempts to reach out to all statutory victims to allow them the opportunity to be heard by the state. The court heard from yesterday were the ones that had wished to make impact statements. While not directly related to the insurance fraud, I did just want to make a clear record of that. In relation to the insurance fraud charges, in light of the sentence that has been imposed by this court and by the recommendation of the jury in relation to the other charges, the state would indicate we think that the victim statements covered everything the state could say, while the insurance charges again are a 10-year. We've lost 3 individuals that the state can do nothing to bring them back. And so the best we can do is move forward in seeking justice on their behalves. In relation to the insurance counts themselves, given the sentences, we would recommend this court impose jail time and have that, or prison time, impose a sentence and run it concurrent with the imposition of the other sentence by this court. I believe they carry up to 15 years in prison. We'd recommend they run concurrent with each other and with the imposition of death in this case. We would also recommend restitution in the amount of $130,000 to LifeMap and $300,000 to Primerica. As part of that, we would also recommend a waiver of any fines or court costs in this matter in order to allow restitution to be paid if any money is available to go towards that.
All right, thank you for the state's sentencing recommendations. Mr. Pryor, does the defense wish to make sentencing recommendations as to, I'll do them collectively, counts 7 and 9, the insurance fraud counts?
No, Judge, there's nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, is there any objection to the requested restitution amounts of $130,000 and $300,000?
Judge, we may need to set that out at this point, but I'll let the court know if that changes.
All right, I'll permit 30 days for the scheduling of a contested hearing on restitution. If that becomes an issue, we could conduct that hearing most likely remotely on a Zoom hearing if it becomes an issue. At this time, I will ask, because I need to on these counts, before I impose any sentence, Mr. Daybell, you do have the right of allocution, which permits you to make a statement on your own behalf in any mitigation of these offenses. Is there any statement you would like to make before I proceed with sentencing on those counts?
No.
Very well. The court then, having considered the information previously referenced, finds that pursuant to Idaho Code 41293, which under subsection 4 indicates a penalty of up to 15 years of prison. On each of those 2 counts, the court is going to impose a prison sentence of 15 years. So a 15-year sentence will be imposed on count 7. The court will take under advisement the issue of restitution requested by the state. The court will not impose any fines. The court also will impose a 15-year prison sentence on count 9. Also pursuant to the same statute, take under advisement the issue of restitution. The court will note in imposing these prison sentences that I have reviewed Idaho Code 192521, which requires me to go through certain criteria about the imposition of a prison sentence versus a possibility of parole or a lesser sentence. And I would note that the rationale for the prison sentences is that these are intertwined with the murder charges for which the death penalty has been imposed on those counts. And when the court looks at the sentencing factors under 1925-21, I would note in mitigation that Mr. Daybell has been incarcerated an extensively long time in local jail and has a previous law-abiding history, and I have considered that. I've also considered that he's always conducted himself respectfully, from what I've heard from all of the jailers that have ever interacted with him over the years that he's been incarcerated for these charges. However, the court finds under Idaho Code 2521 also that any lesser sentence would depreciate the seriousness of these offenses because this life insurance was obtained based on the murders of individuals and procuring life insurance payouts unlawfully. And because of that, it's the most serious offense, that circumstance that could lead to that. In addition, imprisonment will provide an appropriate punishment and deterrent for the defendant and others, and will also be a deterrent for the community as well. So the court having then concluded with the sentencing on that, I will not order any fines because the defendant's previously been deemed indigent and has received the death penalty on these murder counts, and find it would be futile to have an order of fines in the case. So with those remarks, then the court typically would address the defendant further, but in this special sentencing proceeding, the victim impact statements and the evidence has already demonstrated on the record, I think, the seriousness of what, and I don't find any further delve into the court's rationale other than what was listed in the statute. So unless there's anything further, that will conclude the sentencing, but I will address the post-conviction issues that need to be addressed at this time. Does the state have anything further then on the sentence and count 7 and count 9?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Daybell, in this case, given the sentence that was imposed in counts 1 through 6, there's a special appellate and post-conviction procedure for capital cases, and an automatic stay may be in effect. There's a statute that's Idaho Code 192719 that sets out certain deadlines. I am providing you and counsel with a courtesy copy of that statute, but I will note a few of the deadlines that are listed in there. Under subsection 1, when the punishment of death is imposed, the time for filing an appeal shall begin to run when the death warrant is filed. Number 2, the death warrant shall not be filed until 42 days after the judgment imposing the death sentence has been filed. Number 3, within 42 days of the filing of the judgment imposing the punishment of death, the defendant must file any legal or factual challenges to the sentence of conviction. There's other important and critical deadlines that are contained within that statute, and I am going to provide a copy of that to Mr. Pryor to ensure that the defense is well advised of those post-conviction rights that would apply in this special proceeding. I'll also note that there's an additional rule, Idaho criminal rule. If you'll give me a moment, I think it's 44.2.
Pryor's going to throw those appeals in the garbage, that appeal paperwork. He ain't doing shit. Pryor is donezo. I get the impression from the last
Criminal Rule 44.2, and that's the mandatory appointment of counsel for post-conviction review after imposition of the death penalty. That rule is also applicable in your case, and a copy of the rule itself is going to be provided to you in counsel to ensure that you're well aware of any post-conviction rights you may have. With that, then, the court is going to conclude the special sentencing proceeding. Is there anything further I need to take up from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for your abiding by the court's courtroom conduct order. We'll be in recess.
All right, please.
All right, I'm going to go over to the news and check if there's a press conference. I mean, there's going to be a press conference, so I get the impression, cuff that piece of shit now. Put his head on the fucking table and cuff him. Cuff him. Don't shake Pryor's hand. Cuff him, push him into the desk, trip him, kick him in the shins.
Folks, thank you all.
All right, let's see if there's a press conference. There's going to be a press conference, so thank you all so much for watching with me. I really appreciate it. So let's go live outside the courtroom. At least they should be live outside the courtroom any second now. Why is this not going live? If you missed it, they said before the prosecution team is going to talk for the first time since they filed the indictment, so that should be any minute now. By the way, again, Judge Boyce has got to be top 5 judges that I've watched since I've been streaming. I thought he did a wonderful job. Really, really good job. I was very impressed by him. Thank you, Tamara. Take care, Dom's mom. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I bet he's probably glad. All right, here we go. People are exiting the courtroom. If you're just listening right now, there should be someone, I assume, coming to the podium or the mics any second now with a press conference. I bet so too, Diane. This guy's making sure his mic is right. There's the UPS guy working on a Saturday. Hey, Pam. Good to see you. Hey, Tiff. If you're coming in late, Chad Daybell is getting the death penalty. They just finished the charges and the conference, and now there should be a press conference any second now with, I assume, some of the victims' families and also the prosecution, although I don't know what time. Oh, here comes the reporter. She's probably going to start. Forget her name. I think it's Katie. She'll probably... Hey, Suzanne. Thanks, everyone, for being here on this Saturday. I was supposed to be thrifting today, but I did not want to miss this. Or going to garage sales. But maybe tomorrow. Or I got some days off next week. Hey, Diane, watching from Canada. Canada, I think, is my second biggest outside of the United States country that watches me. Canada or the UK. They're both up there. Ireland is up there for me. Hey, Wild Child. My favorite category is vintage toys, like, and when I say vintage, I mean like pretty much any like, you know, He-Man, Ninja Turtles. My favorite is toys. By the way, Babe told me that she told me she saw this, just talking about like vintage and stuff. She said that she saw like some meme that said Back to the Future. You know how they go back to like whatever, was it 1950? Whatever year they go from Back to the Future, from the future to the past. If you did that now, today, the same amount of time would be going to 1994. Is that right, Babe? That's the same amount of time, folks. If they made Back to the Future right now, and it was the same time period, it would be 1994. I'm so sorry to let you know that. Travis, I got a full garage worth of records, because a garage, I got it all for free, but records are a bitch because you got to grade them, and the grading system is, I don't want to mess it up. Thanks, Diane. Yes, I'm so sorry to tell you all that. When she told me that, it was like a punch to the tooth. I was 14 in 94. Yes, I think. Thank you, T. Cancella, and thank you for being here. I still have some good vintage records. I got to go through them. I have a bunch. I had so many of them. Thousands. Like, literally, I have thousands. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that. That was such a bummer of me. I blame Shannon. She's the one that told me it, so it was in my brain. And so it's really, I blame Shannon, and you all should too.
Let me know when you're ready.
We're ready. Go ahead. Counting down. 3, 2, 1. Action. Go ahead. Go ahead, ladies. We're ready.
Caitlin Hart with East Idaho News. We just came down from the last hearing of the sentencing phase. Judge Boyce did officially sentence Chad Daybell to death for counts 1 through 6 on the indictment. For the last 2 counts of insurance fraud, Chad was sentenced to 15 years in prison for each of them, plus over $300,000 for the life insurance money that was taken when Tammy and the children, when Tammy was killed during her life insurance policy situation. I'm here with Sarah. Sarah has been here for so much of the trial, right? Tell me how long that you were here watching this trial.
I came to 2 days during jury selection that week, and then since then, I think I've missed out of the full, like, when the jury was, like, impaneled, I think I missed maybe 7 or 8 days total of all the weeks.
Out of 9 weeks. That's a lot. So what made you so interested that you had to be here for it?
Well, I just find it compelling to listen to these, like, real-life stories and see them play out online, and I think that just any average, like, human with, like, an average amount of empathy probably feels, like, compelled by just what is happening. And just if you're here and you're able to go, I was lucky enough to be able to go. I just felt like it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Right, and Sarah was up there with me waiting for the whole verdict. I think there was probably like 20-something people up there just waiting, including media and the public, and we waited around 5 hours for this second sentencing verdict. Are you surprised by the verdict that he got the death penalty and not life in prison?
If you'd asked me that before the witness impact statements, I think I would have said yes, especially having heard what the people that got impaneled said in their voir dires. But after listening to the witness impact statements and just how I felt, and then watching the jury and getting kind of a feel for sort of the vibe they put off the whole trial, their vibe to me felt very disgusted. There was a lot of disgust and just sort of like fed up, and you could tell for the witnesses that were giving their victims that were giving their statements. And so after that, I was leaning towards thinking they were going to vote for death.
Right. I think a lot of us were kind of on the fence about what was going to happen, and a lot of us thought that the sentencing verdict was going to be quicker than the guilty verdict, and it ended up being about 1 or 2 hours longer, I think. And so it was an interesting time, and I guess we'll see what happens from here. Right now, we're waiting for the prosecutors. We heard they're going to come out and try to do a press conference, and we will carry that live. And stay watching. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. This is clearly she's covering for Nate. I'm guessing she hasn't done this a lot, so good job. Did you hear me? I don't know if Sean still has her Etsy shop. She did. Babe, did you ever have an Etsy? She does not have her Etsy anymore. She used to. She's now primarily eBay. As am I. I'll tell you guys, I think I've told the story. I have this app called Freebie Alerts. And I got one, and I pound. You have to pounce on these things quick. And it was someone who was like, I have a bunch of records. So me and Shannon drove like 30 minutes away and literally got thousands of records that are in my basement. I mean, I've sold a lot. I've made $1,000 out of them, maybe more, but yeah, I still have a lot of them. I had some good 80s ones that even had like the posters in them. I had some good ones. I still have some good ones. Joel Indy says we need a guest to talk about how life on death row will be compared to Jen Popple. I don't know anyone to do that, so I didn't have any Kiss. I did not have any Kiss. I had some Van Halen. I can show you the ones I have. While we wait here, these are the ones I have currently listed. We got some Kansas, Neil Diamond, The Romantics, Jerry Lee Lewis, Diana Ross. Oh, those are the only ones I have listed now, see? These were all free that I got. And like I got some that were like special, like promo only special editions. I have a bunch of them. I have to list them. The thing is, it's like a pain in the ass to like take all these pictures. I like things like I only take a couple pictures and just post, but I even bought a record player to like test these things out. But I got to the point where I've sold enough of them where I can look at them and have an idea what shape they're in. I do have some. I don't know. I sold some Elvis. I don't know if I still have Elvis. I'd have to check. I think I do because I had a lot of Elvis. But if I remember correctly, some of the Elvis weren't in great condition. Some of them were. That's why records are tough, man. When the movie came back out, Babe makes a good point. My Elvis records did pretty good. But and then you gotta get a special. I got like these special sleeves I had to buy just to ship them because they're like you have to ship them. These obviously they're like a weird size. Hey Shannon, thanks for being here, everybody. Over 500 people. Wow. Thanks everybody. We're waiting for the press conference. The prosecution any minute now should be coming out and giving a press conference. If you're coming in late, Chad Daybell is getting the death penalty, folks. If you could hit that like if you haven't. No, MJ CDs are not useless. Some CDs can sell for a decent amount, just depends. Jumpsuit Pablo? Who's Jumpsuit? I don't know who that is. Thanks for being a member for a month, Mad
be
World.
buddies, we're gonna be pals, we're gonna wrestle around.
Oh, there's Babe. Babe's in chat. Hi, Wine Cellar Infused. Bob Dylan, nice. So, wait, Babe, what's the place we're going to? Cans? The Shed. You guys want to see where we're going for our date? West Sayville. All day and night brunch. That seems cool. What's the drinks? Ooh. Where's the menu? I'm a type of person. I need the menu before I go out. I'm very. I don't have the White Album. How do I see the menu? What is this shit? See the cocktail. View our menus. I can't click on any of these. Well, let's see. Oh, duh. It's right here. All right. There's just no pictures. What am I going to get to drink? Wow, that's a lot of money. But I guess that's how much it costs right now. Strawberry smash. Smoke and herbs. What's the fruitiest drink? That's what I want. The fruitiest drink. Roasted mushrooms, gross. Salmon, gross. Chicken and waffles, all right. Spicy habanero honey, I don't know about that. Steak, gross. Grilled chicken, no. Short rib melt, I might try that. Chicken sandy, maybe. Which of these is fruity? Strawberry smash? By the way, I have it up. I will not miss if they're live with the press conference. I'm just killing some time here. The watermelon. Patron Reposado. Maybe I'll get the watermelon. Hopefully they'll have summer shandies. Well, this is some fancy shit, huh? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Yes, I'm weird. If you guys don't know, I don't like steak. You guys probably, if you're new to the channel and you want to unsubscribe right now, I don't like steak. I'm a weirdo. I'm very well aware of it. I like burgers. I don't like steak. CH, I signed up for Discogs and nothing would sell on there. I tried it. Nothing would sell. Yes, it's a texture thing. Agree. Oh, here we go. Here's the first question. When's the last time you had steak? And then the second thing will be, but have you had my steak? I'll make you a steak that you like. Have you had filet mignon is the next question. Have you been to a good steak? I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Oh, and I tried steak, and Babes got some steak in her something, and I didn't like it. I acknowledge it's me that's a weirdo. Thank you, T. Cancella. Kim's eating a steak right now. Thank you, Afton says. Whoever asked Idaho... What the fuck? I'd rather see the courthouse than this stupid idiot. Blue cheese over ranch every day, Mia. Every day. Alright, I don't... Alright, and we're back. And we're back. No, I love burgers, Renee. I love burgers. Love a nice cheeseburger. It's like one of my favorite foods. Shake Shack is like my favorite burger place. No, I would. First of all, I wouldn't like a Philly steak sandwich because I don't like onions either. I don't like onions. Or most vegetables. Carrots are okay. What's an Old Bay butter wing? That sounds good. Tuna? No tuna for me. No fish at all. Oh, I do like sushi. That's, I guess, fish. Yes, Tiff, I'm a weirdo. I'm trying to explain this to you. But it's a different... steak and burgers are two diametrically opposed things. Burgers are delicious, steaks are gross. But it's like... it's not the same. It's a different texture. It's different. No, how dare you. No orange Capri Suns for me. Peanut butter? No, I don't like peanut butter. If you're new to my channel, I have the palate of a 12-year-old, maybe 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Like when we go to like a wedding, like that's like has like steak or chicken, I'm having Taco Bell on the way home. Yes, thank you, T. Cancel. Very discerning palate. I do love cheese. Give me some cheese. Susan, yes. The things I do like. I love a good sandwich. Sandy's are my favorite, probably. How did I one day... See, here's the thing about me, Dr. RT. I will try anything once. I'll try things. Just like I tried Indian food and turned out I liked it. But if I don't like it, I'll never eat it again. What do you mean, poor Shannon? Yes, chicken tendies. Give me all the chicken tendies. I like a nice chicken sandwich. Chicken Finger J is right. Oh, people exiting the courtroom. People exiting the courtroom. They're not coming to talk to us. Tater tots. I love a good tater tot. Spicy tuna is my jam. Spicy tuna with some spicy mayo. That is the stuff. Also, I like spicy crab. What are they waiting for? 3 o'clock? Can we get this done with? Milk or dark chocolate? I would take milk chocolate, but I'm not a huge chocolate guy. Babe is a huge chocolate. I like white chocolate. I like white chocolate. Yeah, they are. They may be talking to the jury. Oh, we got some more people coming out. Oh, there they are, folks. Here we go. Talking to the mic, lady. We can't hear you.
Almost 5 years ago, the communities of Fremont and Madison County lost 3 wonderful human beings, Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow, and Tammy Daybell. As a Fremont prosecutor on this case, this has been a hard-fought battle for both the prosecution team and for the law enforcement agencies that worked tirelessly on this case and never gave up hope. This has been a tough case because of its complexity, both in telling the story of an investigation that spanned years and trying to figure out the best way to present it in a way that would make sense to others. As a prosecutor, I try a lot of criminal cases, but for me, as a new mom, the details of this one just hit differently, and I can't imagine the family's pain. I cannot express enough both my and Fremont County's deep appreciation, gratitude, and admiration for all those who have played a role in seeking and ultimately obtaining justice for the victims in this case. This case has been about speaking for and seeking justice for the lives of 3 wonderful humans whose lives were cut way too short by the selfish desires of the defendant and his co-defendant, Lori Vallow. We are pleased with the outcome and that justice has been served for the victims in this case. This has been a collective effort between multiple agencies working in collaboration to see this case through for the victims and their families. There are so many people who have been involved and helped behind the scenes, and every last one of them has been instrumental in obtaining justice. When I came into office in 2021, after discussing the case with others in Fremont County and collaborating with the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, a decision was made to bring the case back to Fremont County because we felt strongly the case of JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell should be combined and tried together. You heard from some of the victims' families how these 3 have been intertwined forever. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office was instrumental in the decision and support of the prosecutor's office in making that difficult decision. I cannot express enough Fremont County's gratitude to Rob Wood and the Madison County Prosecutor's Office. They started this case looking into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee. Then when the children's remains were discovered, Rob Wood stepped in without hesitation when my predecessor requested he take the case as a special prosecutor, and then ultimately agreed to combine resources to pursue justice for the victims in this case. A special thanks to Fremont County Deputy Prosecutors Rocky Wixom and Tanya Rawlings for their dedication and efforts in both this case and the case against Lori Vallow. The Attorney General's office in first taking on the prosecution of the murder of Tammy, and then by their agreement to allow us to have Deputy Attorney General Ingrid Beatty join the prosecution team. The FBI for stepping in without hesitation when the children were missing, with their extensive experience and their resources, and continuing to see this case through to the end. the Rexburg Police Department for starting the investigation into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee, and then never giving up the search. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office for their tenaciousness in pursuing the investigation into the death of Tammy Daybell. Arizona law enforcement for sharing everything they had uncovered and their willingness to come to testify in the cases here in Idaho. This became a joint investigation, a joint effort to find the children, and then ultimately to seek justice on their behalf. I've been absolutely amazed and astounded at the level of investigation, professionalism of the officers involved, and the camaraderie that has been formed. I tell them all the time, they make my job a lot easier. We extend our support to Arizona in their continued pursuit of justice for the additional victims, Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreau. We also extend our immense gratitude to the jurors in this case who didn't sign up for this difficult process but agreed to perform their civic duty. And in rendering this verdict, we hope the victims and survivors of Chad Daybell know that the community as a whole does not tolerate the loss of 3 precious and irreplaceable human beings. We are hopeful that those who have been involved and affected by this case and the actions of the defendant and his co-conspirators can now begin to heal.
Four and a half years ago, Detective Ray Hermosillo walked into our office needing a warrant for what started as a simple search for a Jeep to help an investigation in Chandler, Arizona. This soon turned into a search for 2 young children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. That investigation merged with the death of Tammy Daybell. Very quickly, multiple law enforcement agencies and prosecutors' offices began working together diligently to find those missing children and determine what happened. Realizing the children's last residence was in Madison County, we began a child protection action to bring the children to safety. When it was clear that Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell had no interest in helping us locate Tylee and JJ, we took further action in filing charges against Lori and extradited her from Hawaii. The search for Tylee and JJ was nonstop. Every stone was unturned through the diligent team efforts of the Rexburg Police Department, Fremont County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho Attorney General investigators, the FBI, Chandler and Gilbert Police Departments. The willingness of so many different law enforcement agencies to work together and pool resources to obtain justice for these victims is unprecedented. All of these agencies work together with the single goal of justice in mind, and we cannot thank them enough. From the Madison County Prosecutor's Office, we are so grateful for the working relationship and partnership we've had with Lindsay Blake and everyone at the Fremont County Prosecutor's Office in obtaining justice, both in this trial and the trial against Lori Vallow. That includes not only Lindsay, her deputies Tanya Rawling, Rocky Wixom, and all their help staff. I'd also like to thank Ingrid Beatty for being here with us and the Attorney General for allowing her to work with us. And I want to say that Lindsay Blake's dedication to each of the victims in this case has been unwavering. Her willingness to take on this case when she took office, when she didn't have to, was absolutely courageous. It has been an honor to work with her. And I'd also like to thank members of the Madison County Prosecutor's Office who've helped on this case, prosecutors Spencer Rammel, Mackenzie Cole, and Rachel Smith, who've helped on this case. Today, justice was served for Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. 3 innocent victims whose lives were tragically cut short by the selfish and cruel actions of Chad and Lori Daybell, who embarked on a path of destruction that irrevocably altered the lives of countless families and countless individuals. While nothing can undo the immense harm caused, we have worked tirelessly to secure a measure of justice for Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. This week, a diligent and attentive Ada County jury carefully considered the evidence and presented and returned a verdict of guilty on all counts. Last year, an Ada County jury did that for Lori Vallow Daybell as well. Pursuing justice in this case required the unwavering dedication of a large team of public servants who have devoted the last 4.5 years to ensuring we had the evidence to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Again, we extend our deepest gratitude to all the committed law enforcement professionals from these agencies who have made tremendous personal sacrifices in the face of an emotionally and physically challenging case. We are indebted to them for their service. We also want to applaud the incredible strength and resilience of the victims and family members who, despite unimaginable grief, have stood with us these past 4.5 years in our pursuit of the truth. Their support has been invaluable. To all those who held Tylee, JJ, and Tammy in their hearts, we hope these verdicts bring a measure of healing and closure, and may the memory of Tylee, JJ, and Tammy continue to be a blessing to all who knew and loved them. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think every attorney handles it a little bit different, and probably every investigator. I think a lot of times there's things that go on behind the scenes that nobody ever gets to see. Everyone compartmentalizes it different or comes up with some form of therapy or stress relief to deal with it. But I think I can speak for everyone that obviously there is an impact. You get to know the victims. You learn so much about their history and their lives that it's like you knew them in life sometimes. And when you hear their families and friends talk about them and they really bring them to life for you, absolutely there's an impact. But I also think that impact then just spurs you on to fight even harder to make sure that we secure justice.
Take care, Tika and Sawa.
I believe the fact that those jurors unanimously found every aggravating factor speaks for itself in terms of its appropriateness, and I'll leave that at that.
They asked, where does Chad go from here?
We're not going to talk about that today. Both say something. Yeah, you say something else.
So I think Rob and I will both answer this one. Working with the victims' families, it can always be a bit of a challenge, because you want to ensure that you're getting them information that they're entitled to, and that you're taking into account their concerns, what they want to see happen with the case, and that their rights as victims are being upheld. In this particular case, I think the victims' families have been fantastic to work with. We've tried to make ourselves available, meet with them whenever they have questions, and keep them as informed as possible. I think you heard at times, sometimes unfortunately, they learned of things before we were able to reach out to them, and that can always be a challenge as well. But working with them, getting to know them, hearing the stories about their loved ones, hearing the good memories, hearing them bring the victim to life has been an incredible experience. I think we've enjoyed a good working relationship with all the victims in this case.
Yes, Jen, I would.
I second everything Lindsay just said, and I would also just say that these cases are hard. They're really hard to do, and the victims are just such a motivating factor, I think, for everybody involved, for law enforcement, for the prosecution office. Their dedication to their loved ones is so important, and we just really appreciate their patience with us, their willingness to work with us. They have been truly, to me, I think to Lindsay, to everybody, very inspirational. Ask that in a couple of years and we'll see.
Oh, there you go. Isn't that Hermosillo? Wish we could hear the questions.
I mean, it feels great. We worked as a team tirelessly for 4 years. Not just myself, it was a collaborative effort. I have a great team. We worked with several different agencies. So it's a team effort, but I think we're all feeling the exact same thing, which is just relief. We're glad it's done. We got justice for JJ, Tammy, and Tylee, so that's what counts. I would say hundreds. Yeah, hundreds of people, hundreds of hours. So it's a relief. Thank you.
We technically had 7 law enforcement agencies, not including the prosecutors, over 3 different states and maybe even more, but 7 law enforcement agencies.
Lady, get to the mic if you're going to.
All right, anybody else? All right, thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you all for actually.
Good job, team. All right, guys. Wow, that guy is like a giant. Look at that guy. Whoa, who is he? Look at he's towering over Rob Wood. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here and this kind of spontaneous stream here. Didn't know when they would come back, but you all came in and supported me, and me and Shannon very much appreciate that. Thank you, mods, as always. We'll be back on Monday on Defense Diaries for the Karen Reed case. Maybe I'll go thrifting and do something tomorrow, but I don't know. Thanks, everyone. Love you guys so much, and see you on Monday. So thank you all. You guys are the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for joining us, J-Bo Nation. Please give all of yourselves an ovation. No, it won't be real long until next time. Oh, J-Bo Nation, there's no place we'd rather be. J-Bo Nation is the place to 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 be.